Yeah, welcome back. This is our second podcast, and yeah, it's nice to see a lot of people today. It's nice to meet you with the Kev. Kev is a community admin and ambassador at Luxa, and also he is crypto builder, and also my teammates Oleh and Oleksandr. So I would like to start from the Kev. Kev, can you explain more details what you build and what is Luxa? So just to make a small intro for our listeners.
Yeah, sure. So, hi, I'm Kev, and I'm currently building an art marketplace where people can sell their prompts per usage, which is why I'm focusing mainly on artists and linking that up to payment rails through X402. Launching soon on Solana mainly, and then also then going on EVM chains then as well with that. And we essentially just monetize prompts so that you can create high value art, for example, with just a few clicks. And on the other hand, I'm also a community admin for Luxo, which is a layer one for decentralized identities and for social applications. And this is why I'm well versed in the decentralized identity space as well, and a proponent of smart contract based accounts, which is why DeFi is kind of the daily bread and butter for me. So, and I'm coming also from the enterprise world. I've been working for Siemens, Accenture, VW. So I also know how the corporates actually would need smart contracts to just work more efficiently. So, uh, which is why I'm also trying to get them ahead in some way through just consultancies or something like that.
Yeah, amazing. And I think that uh, your like your main responsibilities, your work is touching the today's topic, regulation and compliance. And for example, with your startup that you are building, do you facing with this like regulation? Do you need to regulate your startup like for these monetized prompts and for the regular users who want to buy them?
Partially. So for the art marketplace, not that much because I'm just the mediator between two parties, and I never hold any money, but I just figure out the transfer between both parties.
Mhm.
So the other startup is probably gonna have some regulations to adhere to because it plans to launch a token. So the other startup is Hub, which is a decentralized social media board that is focusing on decentralized organizations that fit households and these are communities and anybody who wants to organize themselves in a seamless and easy manner. And since we want to launch a token at that point, we need to then also figure out how we should do that because we can then drop into the CFTC regulatory space as well. So this is why we need to monitor this extensively.
Okay, I think that we need to clarify for I don't know how much users are aware of this regulation and compliance, but there is like a Clarity Act and Genius Act that are on the USA market, and a MiCA that in Europe. And like your startup will be under the USA market, yeah?
We
Or you
are not
will
sure
launch
yet.
on both?
We are not sure yet. So depending on where we're gonna launch or where the company is gonna be launched, we might fall into the US category because launching company in Delaware, for example, is quite cheap, and we also gonna pay zero taxes, which is also awesome for startups. And Yeah, we are currently thinking about that. So yeah, it's either gonna be then a launch in maybe Delaware or somewhere in Europe, but this is something that is gonna be up for discussion then.
Oh, wow. So let's like dive in. Maybe we will start from the Genius and Clarity Acts, and if you will have enough time to dive into MiCA, we will finish with the MiCA for today. So, guys, who know what's this Clarity Act, and yeah, what is
I
that?
mean,
What happened
yeah,
on
for sure.
May?
I can start if no one is. I mean, everybody wants to talk, but I could try and um, tell everybody what Clarity Act in some like simple words. So, the Clarity Act is a U.S. crypto bill meant to answer. I would say it answers a lot of questions, but mostly it's one question: who regulates crypto, and what rules should the crypto companies follow? So right now, from what we've seen and how it's been before, the crypto regulation in the U.S. is kind of messy. And for example, SEC, they treat many tokens like security. CFTC treats crypto assets like commodities, and most of the time builders, how we talked about this, builders and exchanges, um, they do not know which rule book to follow, and then the regulators come after them, and they have to figure this out. And yeah, so the Clarity Act is trying to fix and define their responsibilities more clearly. So SAC will handle security style crypto assets and activity, um, and CFTC will handle digital commodities that are closer to Bitcoin and Ethereum style assets. So yeah, for builders, it looks more like a the main idea behind it is less guessing, less surprises, less lawsuits, and all in all, it will be a clear path to launch legally and have less of those clear responsibilities, and it will be just easier to launch your tokens and your companies. And yeah, so yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, just the main thing is the Clarity Act is the US is trying to stop regulating crypto through lawsuits and finally making a rule book for everyone to follow.
Yeah, that's super clear because from what I read that like a lot of exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, etc. They paid a lot of like a lot of money to the lawsuits, and it's super unpredictable for the exchanges. Like, will this token be delisted on like tomorrow or not? Is this token legal or illegal? So it was it wasn't like transparent for the users, and it wasn't transparent for the centralized exchanges who was given this possibility to users buy and sell these tokens. Yeah. Um, I just wanted to start, maybe not to start, but to continue with what happened on May 14th, because there was a lot of posts on Twitter like that there will be a yield ban, so we will we won't have stable coins, etc., etc. So it was a lot of rumors and discussions, and yeah, I just want to ask your opinion. How do you think how it will go? What your opinion of what happened on May 14, and in general, your opinion in about Clarity? Um, who wants to be the next? I just want to like make like engaged conversation so everyone could say something what he wanted, and yeah.
Sure, I can just start. So, I mean, the yield ban is, I think it was inevitable because banks need that control of that yield. I mean, otherwise banks would just be irrelevant. We could just pull out all of our money and just pull it into stablecoin yield farms, which is going to be an issue, I think, because this would be the equivalent of a bank run that is going to be started. And a bank run also initiated the Big Depression. So I think they just want to prevent that and just make banks more attractive. But I think they cannot stop that. So I think they know that there's a better competitor, and they just want to slow down that progression of solid yield. But then, I mean, there's going to be synthetic stable coin yield farms anyway, so people will then just switch from USDC yield farms to something I wouldn't say exotic, but something more decentralized. And yeah, we just gonna move the the, the usage area essentially from the from Coinbase to rather unknown protocols that still provide a solid yield.
Regarding the yield, what I thought that it will be like it will be more connection between the borrowing protocols like an our compound. I mean that you can go to this platform, borrow like tokens, and then you will, in any case, you will receive a yield, and it will be like a small alternative to the stablecoin yields, and maybe such platforms like in our compound, they will, or Morpho, they will have more attention from the users because like when I started diving into borrowing protocols, it was like a different world for me. I didn't even know that there is something on the like a DeFi in the DeFi format because I saw them on centralized exchanges, and that is like a transition to the DeFi that it won't be controlled by the Clarity Act, and this is a big plus for such protocols like an Aave or Compound.
Not only to them, I just wanted to mention that it's not like a full ban of the yield, because like it was the initial proposal fire of the banks, but then we also how the CEO of Coinbase stayed in opposition to that take, and that's because that Clarity Act stalled into the May, because the initial negotiation started back in 2025, but because of that debate over the yield, we received the decision only in May. And so the prior arrangement worked so user holds, for example, a USDC through Coinbase, and uh, he would earn yield because funds flowing through the circle into US treasuries, and then the interest going back to the user. But so from the user's perspective, it was identical to bank deposits, and that's why bank uh, was about to ban that. But what we have now is that kind of compromise, because so the the bill bans yield on passive holding, but at the same time it permits rewards tied to they call it bona fide activity. So the definition of activity will be defined in the next bill, but from what it's understandable now, that it would be like mirror to the credit card cashback models. So, for example, if now people can earn as yield on stablecoin just by holding them, in the future, they the interest will be paid only when a qualified action is taken. So, for example, you mentioned that the Aave or Compound will benefit from it, but also Binance or Coinbase will also benefit from it, because like uh, it allows them to move beyond competing on only on fees, on fee reduction, because like they can link the rewards on stablecoins to trading or some in-app activities. Like they could give the platforms incentive as to keep assets on platform. It also like could bring new like card companies, because like they could just fund customer with reward programs, for example, through treasury yield generated by stablecoin reserves. Also the DeFi protocol with uh, establishing staking infrastructure will benefit the most. And but yeah, it's not only about the staking protocols. Actually, the main reason why it was uh, l- uh, that Clarity Act was adopted because of since it gives clarity, it brings more companies, and that stablecoin yield ban could also bring more companies.
True, but don't you think this is already a soft launch of a CBDC control mechanism? Because you are if you outlay the tasks that someone needs to do, or the volume that they need to provide on a platform to generate yield, for example, you are already tracking their on-chain behavior, so that they can so that they earn yield only if they spend something, or if they interacted with this app in some specific way or so, to just create activity. And they already create the mechanisms to actually measure that, which opens then the room for even more complex protocols, where you can then measure specific spendings across certain maybe also yeah, government programs at one point, or dApps or something like that.
Isn't like the platforms now can also control what you are doing, watch for you on chain? Like, is it isn't visible now?
Yeah, but they don't force you to have a certain amount of activity to then get you an incentive in some way.
Yeah, but like I even now I saw a lot of trading competitions, like trade some volume on our exchange, and we will give you the reward. So
True.
it's like it's even happening without that act.
True, but then we just gonna have yeah, specific rules that we need to fulfill then for this deal then, which is already going to be then forced essentially.
To be honest, like I don't have like an opinion on that. Maybe you guys think something.
I wanted to say that I don't know, is it similar to the crypto, but I mean crypto and banks, because even banks right now making some incentivizations which push you to spend more money using their service to receive this cashback or something else. And I don't know, is it controlled right now or not? But for me, it's like it will be pushed every time because it's their income. I mean, it's their like proof that their tool is used and it has attraction by the user. So I understand that I'm a bit drifting to the another topic, but I think incentivizations of the users won't be called by a or some regulators because it's I think it's not in their interest to control how exactly bank or crypto project incentivize their users. So at my point of view, if they will control everything, like everything at all, every step, there won't be any like active users. There won't be active projects because you every time you will have something that block you from the development. Like when you have a space for that, it's it's something natural to grow, to create something, or yeah, to develop something because for example, I can't remember a project which we discussed in the community, but there was a project that has a syntaxis perpetual dex, so it's something like a pyramid, I don't know. But it's something new and it was developed, I think, because it has a space for that. It has a freedom right now, and you can see something fresh on the crypto market. And yeah, I think it's not in the interest of these regulators to create the limits for the platforms. I really like the name the Clarity Act because it's really making more clear and understandable what you need to do and how law is working. But I don't see in this word like a limit art or something else. So
Yeah, following up, wanted to say you guys had a great talk. I was listening through the whole thing, but yeah, I wanted to follow up. So on this yield ban. So from what I saw, from what I heard from like people talk, so they do not want to shape it like a clean crypto yield ban. It's more of a bank style stablecoin yield ban. So the passive stablecoin interest is their target, and from what I've heard and from what I've seen, the activity based rewards will like survive. In theory, I mean, we'll see. But from my point of view, um, I think we talked about this on Twitter that banks see the stablecoin yield as a direct threat, and yeah, because they're afraid of users moving their deposits from banks into their stablecoin balances, and yeah, I've heard about this on Twitter. A lot of people are trying to withdraw their savings and everything and put them in stable coins while they can and earn some yield from that. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Um, and the main thing I saw, I think Reuters talked about this, about the stablecoin rewards, that um, the like banning the third party stablecoin rewards, it protects banks from competition, and it slows down the financial like innovation. So that was like one of the most uh, the biggest fight about this like bill. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes, and yeah, hope we get more and more info, because right now, from what I've saw on Twitter in the last few days, that the Clarity Act will be fighting for the hearing time in the Senate. So hope we get some hearing time, and yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. Maybe there will be more changes. We'll get more clear with the Clarity Act, so we could talk more on that.
but I actually think that it was kind of inevitable that you would ban. It isn't a surprise that the banks won, because I mean, what can we expect when like the traditional bank, the traditional finance system exists in like hundred of years, and they have a lot of lobbyists in the Senate, in the government, like, and everyone is using traditional banking system. So I mean, they just have more power. That's why, it was inevitable that they will ban their direct competitors. But I think that, maybe we would see we will see in the future that unban of the stable coins. What I mean is that, I mean, if we all can agree on that take that stablecoins are much more efficient than traditional digital money, because it is more less fees, they are much faster and secure. So I think what we will see that banks step by step adopt more stable coins, and when they will like acquire a significant part, will use stable coins on their like traditional banking app. That's the moment when we will see the yield unbanned.
Yeah.
Um,
I,
yeah, go ahead. Okay.
actually also have the exact same opinion. So this just opens the room for banks having their own yield farms then at one point, so that they can just keep that monopoly essentially on the yield. Otherwise, I mean, we all are just gonna do a bank run. So if the normies are gonna understand that their money on the bank is just kind of rotting compared to other protocols where it's also safe, then they would definitely pull out their money as well. So if crypto isn't deemed as insecure or something like that, it was just inevitable. And I think also the Clarity Act is of course great for corporations, so that they know which entity to adhere to, because in the past we had FTC suing companies, we have the SECs suing companies, or rather investigating them. So right now, this just makes it just clear what laws and regulations to adhere to finally. So this is a great plus as well for companies then too.
Yeah, and I was also like, I found interesting about the Clarity Act is the DeFi. I mean, how they stated that like basically protecting software developers that don't control people's money from like being treated as money transmitters. What I wanted to say that like for the first time, DeFi protocols have a legal path to like exemption from U.S. Regulatory oversight. That SEC can no longer require uh, DeFi protocols to register as securities platform. So, I mean, because of that act, the decentralization model of company are finally like uh, being recognized on the state level. So like they saying that a protocol must be sufficiently decentralized, meaning no single party can it literally modify its operation. So concentration of admin keys, upgrade authority, or security council powers in one entity disqualifies a protocol. And I think it's a like significant shift in the crypto adoption, because like we always saying a lot about the decentralization, how good it is, but for the first time ever, it was like declared in law.
Yeah, fully agree with you. So it's just the first step to create decentralization rails as well. So the first decentralization rails are already prepared with 20%. What was that thing? So you're deemed as a decentralized company in for the CFTC if you hold less than 20% of the token, right? So it is already a great start, to be honest, and this will just improve. So with other with other presidents, for example, this can be also then improved. Further decentralization metrics can also implemented then, and yeah, I think this is also a great win for decentralized companies in general.
I just wanted to ask because I don't know, maybe I missed it when I read this all the articles about Clarity Act. Is there is like a definition of what they mean under decentralization protocol? Because for example, when I read about MiCA don't definition what is they define that it's the decentralized protocol or decentralized project. I think it's this part missed in MiCA because I didn't find it. Is there is something like a checklist, I don't know, in Clarity Act?
I don't have like the Clarity Act uh,
I
in my
have some
hand to check it. Yeah.
yeah, I had some notes, just like the main points about the bill trying to define when a DeFi trading protocol is non-decentralized. It's when this protocol falls in the bucket if someone can. The first one is control or materially alter the protocol, change its core rules, restrict users, operate the system with private or special privileges, prevent transaction, or if the protocol does not operate only through transparent preset code.
Mm.
So the like basically from like in short from all of this, DeFi gets protected if it's actually decentralized, and fake decentralized projects will get regulated how they should.
I have
And
a short question. Can we maybe mute the others who aren't speaking because it's kind of distracting me?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sorry, I was talking and never saw that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like what you mentioned that MiCA doesn't have that clarification of what a decentralized protocol is. I'm like not surprised. I mean, because MiCA and the Euro whole like with crypto regulation, they were among the first who like did something to regulate that sector, but they made like in my opinion much worse than the US doing right now. I mean, uh, look at how like the US government made a smart move with that with Genius Act at first when they required that each stable coin must be backed by the US Treasury on one-to-one scale. So basically, they improving demand on its debt. What MiCA is doing that they requiring that each stable coin should be backed by real money at the bank. So basically, they like require to the stablecoin issuers to have a bank account. So by that, the Europe is like using its regulation to protect the banking system, when the US use it to protect like their like dominance. If you talk about the payments, and yeah, I think it's very interesting to see how one like country, not country, the union, they were among the first to like provide some regulations, but now it seems like it doesn't work.
Uh, but I wanted to say, yeah, I really like that you mentioned that MiCA is super slow because it started in June of 2023. But as I remember, and if you launch your stablecoin in US, you also need to have like your so it should be reserved by the US dollar. It also should be like in a bank account. You need to have like a treasury bills or a government bond, something that proves that your balance held directly and exact amount of money. You need
But
to have yeah.
yeah, but the difference is that they require the US bills. What is essentially the US bill is that like you buying the debt of the United States. So you finance the government. But what MiCA is requiring that you just need to have a amount of money at your bank account. So your bank will use it as they want. So
So
you
it
buying the
can be
you buying the treasuries, not like dollars.
Hmm.
So you can't, like, for example, have a loan, and it can be reserved, and it can be verified as as a reserve of your stablecoin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't it funny?
I think so.
Isn't it funny that the US or the Federal Reserve Bank, I'm not sure right now, has started to sell their long-term bonds recently, but they allow stablecoin issuers to hold bonds, so it kind of feels like they're offloading on the one side, but demand other companies to load up on them.
Um,
Yeah, I think like that's why America is economy in the world. And I think what we see now is like to be honest, significant part of the Web3 dreams are being shattered, and we see how the crypto is being not changing the word, but get used to that traditional rails.
Mm.
I mean, we see the same lobbies, like we see even with that Clarity Act, we see how already established player in financial sector, they keep dictating its terms, and like the government listens to them. But at the same time, we see like a small winning that mm, when the technology is really useful, it doesn't matter who like govern the country. Eventually, they will adopt that technology, maybe on their own terms, but anyway, the good technology um, always being adopted.
Regarding the technologies, I see that Visa and MasterCard, they are really pushing, and they actively building like the stablecoin payment rails. So the federal regulations give them the full approve, full legal clarity that they need to move faster. And yeah, I really like how it's going, because I saw a lot of partnerships, Visa and crypto projects, the same with the Mastercard, and God bless it, will move at the same path, because yeah, we need it. We need it everywhere, because even payment system for the AI projects building right now, you're receiving a cashbacks, you're using stable coins to pay that, or maybe some altcoins, but in any case, yeah, it's moving faster, and that is good that such companies, they are catching it and adapting to the new world, I could say.
No, true. I've also read that you need to be open source actually to be deemed as a decentralized company. Is that true? Which is, I mean, can't this be then an issue if you, for example, have an algorithm that is closed source then?
Uh, what do you mean? You need to have an open source code for the to be verified by this regulation platform, or what?
Yeah, by the Clarity Act, or am I wrong in there? Because I recall that there were 5 criterias that they are defining decentralization with, of which one was 20%, less than 20% of tokens hold, and being open source. So can't this be then an issue for protocols that are closed source, for example? Or is there a workaround or something like that? Because I mean, I'm thinking about Chainlink being completely open source, but then you have companies like Quant, for example, that is partially closed source due to their algorithm. So
What's the second name of the project you mentioned?
Quant.
I just haven't heard about them.
Um, I think that I can't exactly remember, but like they they need to have a code which is public visible, and because if you DeFi, and as Alexander said, that they need to understand, is it like controlled by someone, because mostly of the projects, they are trying to say that they are like in DeFi decentralized project, but they still has a team behind them, companies. But yeah, I think that you need to have like a proof of that, and your code should be visible.
Interesting.
Yeah. I agree on that because like what basically this Clarity Act do is they like easing the way make the way to get the license much easier. So, for example, um, the demand to be open sourced defend the government from fake DeFi protocols. For example, we take some company with the like which is basically centralized, but because of the closed code, we can't see it. Uh, so they use that Clarity Act to get easier license, because in other case they would need to file all the documents to receive the license from SEC as being security company.
Interesting. Interesting. So the financial overhead is going to be then much larger if you're gonna have a partially closed source product, essentially.
Yeah, I just searched some info about this, about Clarity Act and being open source. So the Clarity Act says it says that not every crypto project must be open sourced, but open source code matters if the project wants to be treated as a real decentralized system. So far from what I've seen, if you're an exchange or a centralized company, you do not need to open source your whole backend because of Clarity Act. Um, it's more into disclosures, custody, KYCs, and everything else. The second one, if you're launching a token or a project, uh, you may need to disclose some technical information, including sourcing code, but only if it's applicable. So, it from what I see, it like n- if you can share it, you can. If it's closed, you don't have to. But yeah, I'll have to do some research because it's a pretty good question. And yeah, for you to be, and if you are claiming that you are DeFi decentralized, you have to have a publicly available source code.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting how this is then gonna be managed as well, and what kind of a management overhead then for companies that is also going to be. So
Yeah, that's
it's
true
really
because
worth
there
it
will
then.
be more like ways of you just like swinging around and try to not share your code. And yeah, it will be pretty interesting to watch. And yeah, that's a really good question. We'll have to do some research on that.
Yeah, it looks like that Clarity Act should be like a bit flexible and adapt to from case to case, and yeah, to catch every situation and note, because until you face with this situation, can't define how it will be exactly, and you can't predict on the 100% that it will be created by that checklist. So you have like this point in your checklist, and it will be defined uh, by something, I don't know, because sorry, I'm not a regulator and I'm not created this Clarity Act, but so you need to test and um, I'm sure that there will be a lot of iterations of the Clarity Act, and there will be a lot of votes, a lot of discussions in the government, and it will also will be a lot of discussions through the between the crypto communities. The one question is, can the crypto communities influence on these Clarity Acts or not? because if like a CEO of Coinbase can't influence on this clarity acts and yield bands, could it be realized by different communities? So that is like a person. It's my personal questions because it's that is a amazing picture of the decentralized when everyone has his vote. He can influence on some process, and I think that was the main idea why crypto was created.
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely going to see alternative yield farms inevitably, but with other stable coins. So not with the centralized ones because they can just freeze the contract, but with fully decentralized ones on other platforms, I think, because nobody can just stop that. So if this is kind of the good thing about our technology, because it's literally unstoppable. So, but it just slows down this progress, which banks right now really need, because I think they also don't have a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
So can be interesting, but I mean, at one point we probably gonna have like parallel societies then too. At one point, one is the official one where you can earn yield on Coinbase, for example, but only if you have some sort of an activity. And then the other one is maybe in the more gray area where you can just park your money, but then you require some extra steps like funneling it through a mixer or something like that, or using a decentralized stablecoin, or going on a protocol that is not being endorsed by the general public, for example, but it's still safe. So this is where I think also just security firms and decentralized security firms can shine, actually, because they can then deem these yield protocols as secure, so that the general public can then actually use them without worrying about their money. So this is why I think security is going to be the next huge mode, because they can ensure that these other alternative protocols are going to be then deemed as secure as, for example, protocols like Coinbase's Yield One.
Yeah. Regarding the security, I think there is a like security of the stable coins and array protocols and everything that's related to the array, because it also has a loud voice right now, because I can't remember, it was a dream or I read it in the Twitter, but something I remember that at the beginning of the 2022 there was like or 2022, at the beginning of 2025 there was 33 RAR protocols, and right now it's more than 300. So it's a huge growth, and I think that security and regulation and risk measurement, it's not going so because for the regarding the security, I know like 10 projects that is trying to do that, and compare them to the I don't know 300 areas that was created for the last for the 1.5 year, and it's only areas that grow so fast. There is a lot of other narratives in crypto that is also growing. A lot of projects are growing in the AI niche, the pin, and etc. etc. And yeah, I think that is a gap because and we but we are not secured for such amount of the project. Like security is not covering everything. Yep.
Yeah, I also think so. I also have the exact same opinion, but this is where then these decentralized communities of experts can then shine, like for example, proof of voice, from where they can then just analyze these protocols then in depth then as well. So, but this is also right now going to come slowly but surely. The Web3 space was comfortable with the previous security measures, but then they realized, okay, the current security measures still kind of don't measure decentralization on protocols, which is why we have these one of one DVNs for layer 0. And I think this topic of creating more security, or focusing more on security, or decentralized security councils, is going to just also inevitably increase then too.
So you think that we will see more DAOs that are focused on security?
Yeah, I think so. Because we gonna have more protocols essentially that are gonna focus on stablecoin yields, and they need to also verify that they are safe. So, I think since certain security companies were not only super expensive but also kind of not sufficient enough, they will need decentralized security councils to then prove that they're safe.
Yeah, that's great. And decentralized security alliance. And here's a band of 5 guys uh, who will protect that. Yeah, but it's interesting, and because especially for me, DAOs, it's something that organized around the token, not like an idea to make Web3 a safer place. It's more sound like a goal for the company that she's focusing on security and revenue, but if it will be if it will be created and it will be a decentralized, it will be a super interesting experience. And yeah, because this decentralized organizations, it's I think it's harder to create at the beginning, because you need to unite them with one goal which will be suitable for them. I don't know, for and they will be and they will understand that it's something that resonates with them. But then when you will have rails for you will have created rails for this group of people, it will be easier to work and easier to manage all the things. Because I realized the DAO of Aave, because it started like a centralized company, and then it migrated to the decentralized, and they had they had a governance and Aave Labs, and after the latest votes and proposals, I understand that more power will come to the DAO, and they will continue pushing their ecosystem. So if you have a great DAO, I think it's possible to do anything in the crypto space.
Yeah, I also think that. I mean, the incentives have to be just aligned, and I think we also need to move from token-based voting to metadata-based voting then at one point, so that those with more expertise maybe, or a better security hit rate or something like that, are valued more. But this is also something that we need to figure out. And we can just do that with better and smarter DAO systems, essentially. So I think it's just better to get these people on at one table to first figure out the best structure by multiple organizations, which is inevitably is going to be the case at one point. So this should be started at some point, and I mean, companies are going to just benefit from that, especially these alternative yield farms where people have to trust with maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they need to be extra secure, and you can achieve that with a council of very big names that
Yeah,
just gonna put their stamp under it that you can use that. Because their reputation is also going to be at stake.
yeah, that's I fully agree with you. But regarding this voting structures and incentivizes, I can't add something because I didn't research it. Like what nowadays is using, because I know only the like token structure and token incentivizers and DAOs. So that I what you mentioned with the metadata, I think space. Okay, guys. What do you think? We want to clarity, or we will stop at this point? Because I think we already it was super engaged. Even we migrated to the DAOs and their problems. So, what do you think?
I think like that was a great conversation. Like we definitely need to the final version of the Clarity Act will be delivered. Will be that for now there are two versions of the Clarity Act, one from the banking committee, the one from the agriculture committee, because one is responsible for the securities, the other for commodities. So those two bills need to be combined in one, pass the Senate vote. After the Senate vote, they should be reviewed by the House of Representatives again, and after that the final bill will be delivered to the president to sign it. So maybe we will see some changes, maybe not, but it's clearly understandable that the US is shifting toward the crypto regulation, so we might see a new companies coming in, and the like more definitely more liquidity will flow into the market, because it will allow when finally the crypto is regulated, it will allow different institutions to actually invest in it, invest in companies, invest in assets. So yeah, it's definitely a big uh, step toward the crypto adoption, even though there are some debates around some issues like stablecoins. But anyway, I think uh, it's a good step, because like finally crypto is moving out the gray zone. And yeah, I'm thank you to each of you for that conversation, and hope to see you once again to discuss the final version of that act.
Yeah, last question. when do you think your predictions when we will see like signed Clarity Act by US president? Will it be? I think it will be at the end of the 2026. So, what's your predictions?
I think it will be before the elections and before the summer break of the Senate, because I mean the president is not in very good position before the elections, and he need to bring some wins to its audience. And we know that a lot of crypto companies donated for his election campaign back in 2024. So he need to deliver results before the election. So I see it's like maybe even this summer.
Okay, Oleksandr, Kev.
Yeah, there've been signs. The thing I was talking about, how the Clarity Act is now fighting for the lifetime in the Senate. So we'll see how that goes. Probably, yeah, they want to make it as fast as possible. But from I think the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, from what he said, it like on May 15th, it went good, but every part of the party uh, left a bit unhappy. So there are a lot of things to change, to review, to talk about. So yeah, I'm definitely sure that we will see some differences, something fixed, something completely redone. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we see it this year, and yeah, it passes. I think everybody is trying to make it pass, trying to make every side of the parties to make everyone happy, and get on some common ground with the Clarity Act. So yeah, hopefully we will see how it goes really, really soon.
Yeah, I also agree that we're probably gonna see some movements definitely before the midterm elections, so that just Trump can get the crypto guys as well on board, because I mean he has already started with that. He already had a great run with creating already room for a Bitcoin reserve. So I think he's definitely going to just continue with full force and create also clarity, no pun intended, for companies then to join the decentralization movement and that space, and to just greenlight institutions to spend money in that sector, because I mean they would also then just benefit from that, because what are the companies gonna use? Stablecoins that the bank that the US is gonna also green light. So they inevitably are gonna earn a part of that cake, because these stablecoin companies are gonna buy treasuries. So I mean they are just gonna offload their debt to those companies, which is just awesome. USDT is probably gonna have an issue because they are not a US based company, and I'm not sure how if they buy treasuries, but this is also something that we need to then monitor. But overall, yeah, I think we are gonna have more clarity on the Clarity Act. I think also within the next few months. Then
So yeah, this nice predictions. I hope we will see them soon. And yeah, okay. Thank you guys for this conversation. It was pleasure to me, like with the camera, Kev, first time. I hopefully not the last one. And yeah, see you everyone in the chat. Thanks for that, and take care, guys.
Yeah, thank you so
See you
much.
within next couple of months.
Yeah,
thank
for
you
sure.
for the time. Thank you for the time, and thank you for the invitation. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, yeah, and just for a
Bye.
little wrap up, so the one point I wanted to say is that the Clarity Act is not about escaping regulation. It's the time when crypto is finally getting a rule book, and that the clarity is good, but it's only good if the rules will actually work, and there will be some benefits for the builders, users, and bigger companies. So yeah, really, it was awesome talking to you guys. Hopefully, all of this Clarity Act things move on, and we'll see it live going on, and hopefully we can talk about it even more and more and go deeper in that. So yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah. Same. Okay, guys. Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.